Hey, all right, friends. Hi, Doc South here. Yet another video for you. Again, all of a sudden, I've gotten on this thing. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but I love thinking back to the days of my youth, like when I was like 5 years old or younger. I mean, that was a long time ago now. Let's see, I was born in '46, so I made 5 years old June of what, 51? Yeah, so it was an interesting time. This was, of course, after World War II. All those who survived World War II, all the veterans came home, found themselves a woman, got married, and boy, all of a sudden there's a trillion kids running around. And actually, it was kind of a good time to be a kid. A lot of the grown-ups, of course, they were all in this, all the fathers, and in some cases the moms were in the war effort too. They all kind of got along like they were, what would you say, sort of like a band of brothers. I mean, if you were in, you'd be walking down the street, and you're away from your folks, and all of a sudden, well, maybe you were walking out a little too far out on the road. Some guy would holler, from the lawn, "Hey, you kids, get off the road! You're going to get hit." It was like everybody watched out for each other's kids. I mean, it was funny that way. How, yeah, I don't know if you see that so much anymore, but yeah, a lot of the parents, basically, us kids were up against hundreds of parents keeping an eye on us. And it was kind of fun hearing their, not that war was fun, but it was interesting, exciting to us as kids to hear their war stories. Of course, they kind of mellowed it down. They weren't so much talking about the horrors as, what it was like to be in the Army or the Navy or flying a plane or some such, it was all very dangerous, but yet it was, I don't know, it was different times. It really, truly was. But the toys, as a kid, I was thinking about some of the toys. And this one, I remember, gosh, I must have got this, I must have been three or so. I remember seeing it under the tree and I ran right for it. Here, I got one here. Now, this isn't the one I had as a kid. The one I had as a kid, I think I left it on the driveway, and well, yeah. This was a play school pump. Here, let me move back. Yeah, it's just the dumbest little thing. And yet, I don't know if they still make this. I don't even know if there is play school. I mean, that's how old I am now. But this doggone thing, what you did was, it came with little balls, little wooden balls, and you stuck them in here. Okay. Once you got them in, you did like that, and the balls popped out of the and rolled across the floor for your father to step on in the dark. Yeah. I have no idea. I could play with this darn thing for hours. I'm not kidding you. Go figure. I had it figured out. Now you had to watch, because if you got your finger in here, I think, yeah, you can pinch yourself. Other than that, I have no idea. It would hold about 3 or 4 balls, and you pump them out. Yeah, go figure. Sandy found this, I guess, at an auction or something, and she was going to sell it, and I just kept whining till she finally said, okay, for crying out loud, take it. I said, well, I'll pay you for it. She says, no, that's all right. I paid her. I slipped some money under her pillow. And then, there was that. Then there was this, I remember there was this beautiful, one day again, under the Christmas tree, or maybe I got it for my birthday. It was a metal bulldozer that you could ride on. Yes. No, it didn't. It looked like it had a motor. It had like the engine compartment. But you sat on it and pushed it much like you'd push a kiddie car. Yeah. You didn't. It didn't have pedals. You'd move it with your feet. Right. You'd sit in. There was like a seat where a bulldozer operator's seat would be, and you'd you just move your you just move your legs. It was kind of like you're in a squat position, moving with your legs, and you could I believe you could steer it. I think it had a bit of a steering wheel. It had treads, but I don't think the treads really worked. I think they were fake treads. Then again, it might have had real treads. I'm not entirely sure. It's been a while. It's been a while. But you could raise and lower the blade, and I actually used it when the snow wasn't too deep. I'd go out and plow the driveway for my father. Yeah. Oh, it'd be much quicker to use a shovel. But it kept me busy for, an hour and a half out there in the yard in my snowsuit. And it was the best darn toy. It was just indestructible. Unfortunately, they kind of disappeared from the scene. I don't know. Maybe kids were getting their fingers caught in the mechanisms or something. I don't know, but I dearly loved it. In fact, I remember one day I was at an auction. I think I mentioned this on one of my pop-up shows, but we were at an auction down in Perkiomenville, Pennsylvania, and this was one of these massive antique auctions. Happened back then anyway. It happened every Monday. I don't know if it still does. You could look it up. Heck of an auction. And there was one of those bulldozers. Oh, I saw it. And I said, Sandy, look at that. Oh, I had one of those as a kid. She said, so that's what's wrong with you, huh? I said, yeah. Oh, I want to try to bid on it. She says, well, knock yourself out. And this was an auction where a lot of things would go for $1 or $2. And so I was ready, man. Oh, I wanted that so bad. I hung around. Finally, the thing goes up for auction. I started with, the auctioneer started out at about 50 cents. Of course, I raised my hand. And then all the other bidders jumped in. And, well, long story short, $300. No, I didn't get it. Oh, $300, you got to be kidding. But some dealer bought it, I guess. Or it was probably some guy owned a bulldozer company, an excavating company, and he wanted to, put it in his office or something. But it was in good shape. I guess the kid just never used it. Whoever had it. But yeah, that was from easily the 40s. And it was the best darn toy. Oh, God, it was so cool. And so there was that. Another thing I had, and I often wonder why I like supermarkets, working in a supermarket so much. Most people don't like it that much. It's tough, hard work. A lot of lugging. There's always some mess you got to handle. Oh, my gosh. Dairy case, it's cold. Frozen, it's absolutely unbelievably cold. I work in both. And remember my parents got me, I think it was a miniature supermarket. You could pretend like you're a Godzilla and take the roof off it. And I think it measured, about 2 foot by maybe 2.5 foot. And the walls would stay, but you could pull the roof off like you were a monster. Yeah, I'd like to see them pull the roof off of our supermarket sometimes, but and it had aisles and little carts and little checkout lanes, and you could stock the shelves with little bottles of milk. I swear, yeah, butter. Yeah, they had little spot you could put bread, little tiny hunks of bread. I've never seen one. Since the one I had. I think it was either a food fair, or it may have been an A&P, or it might have been an Acme Market. I think it was one of the major names from back then. No, ShopRite I don't think existed back in the 40s. But I'd play with that thing. I had the best time. It had little shelves. You could put little soda bottles up. A meat department, sure. Oh yeah, and people. You could walk them up and down the aisle. Yeah. I played with that thing. It was just amazing. So much fun. Yeah. Cool, huh? I know there's so much out there as far as nostalgia goes. And that, well, 3 good toys. The bulldozer, the supermarket, and the old pump. Kept me out of my parents' hair for hours on end. And what was the other thing? The erector set. Remember the erector set? Yeah, you could lose an eye with an erector set. You could be actually pulled into machinery and stuff. And yet, I don't think it would pass the OSHA safety tests anymore. Not the old electric motor they had. You plug that baby in, the gears would go. I remember I got a shirt sleeve caught in that, and man, that thing was pulling me in. Yeah. Oh, it's only a little motor about this big. I mean, about all I could do was lose a finger. But you, you sure could get pinched. But you could build such cool things. Yeah, especially if you had the big set. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they had the little namby-pamby set, that you could make maybe a chair. And then they had a set where you could make, a skyscraper with working elevators and a merry-go-round about 3 foot in diameter. Yeah, it was a good toy. Erector sets. Yeah, I always had one of them. I never had the grand poobah of erector sets. I usually had one that was kind of in the middle. I think it was the number 6.5. Yeah, yeah, good. But they'd always have a little brochure in the 6.5 showing what great things you could do if you only had the 7.5. Yeah, and the unbelievable marvels you could create if you had the 8.5. Yes. And again, rainy Saturday afternoon, man, that you'd be nothing better than hanging out with that erector set, trying to get something built. Yeah, on schedule, under budget, all that. Yeah. Well, anyway, enough said, friends. I thought I'd just mention, but yeah, it was a good time to be alive. I'll catch you later. Bye now.